Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to UK food versus USA food, which is better. Like, for me, I'm hoping they're going to talk about, like for like. So, which quality of ingredients is better? For example, if we buy French fries from McDonald's from both countries, the USA and the UK, is it exactly the same in terms of ingredients, in terms of additives, preservatives, things like that? Like, does one country have the advantage over the other?
That's wrong with them. I just have them all imported over.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be pitting UK food versus US food and looking at their shocking differences. Follow me. We'll be examining which country provides the best food overall, from restaurants to supermarkets. We'll also look at which has healthier options, is cheaper, and what's available in each country. What do you think about the differences between the food found in the United States and the United Kingdom? Are there any differences we missed? Let us know in the comments. Round 1.
Amazing.
Quality of ingredients.
All right,
Ingredients in food we eat vary wildly depending on whether we are eating food from a package or food from a restaurant. As a result, we'll be looking at the major food chains common in both countries and whether the quality of their ingredients differs widely. In 2019, food activist Vani Hari, who also goes by the Food Babe online, showcased her research into the difference in ingredients found in packaged food items. This included Doritos, Mountain Dew, Quaker Oats, Heinz tomato ketchup, and more. She discovered that packaged food made and sold in the US contained vast amounts of artificial coloring and flavoring. For example, in the United Kingdom, Mountain Dew got its bright color from beta-carotene, a natural color derived from certain orange or yellow foods. In the United States, it came from yellow 5. Yellow 5 is a petroleum-based dye called tartrazine. Most studies on artificial food colorings like tartrazine have shown that children who consume large doses can be negatively affected.
Randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled food challenge, published in perhaps the most prestigious medical journal in the world, showing artificial colors increased inattentiveness, impulsivity, and hyperactivity among young children.
You may also remember when groups...
I mean, if it's proven to do that to young kids, why wouldn't the US government ban it? Especially if there's other ways you can get that same color, why not just ban that?
To have azo dicarbonamide removed from bread in Subway, McDonald's, Wendy's, and many other major American food chains. This was in part because this chemical can also be found in yoga mats.
The additive is approved by the FDA, and other companies also use it in their breads. Subway came under fire after a food blogger petitioned for its removal, noting that the chemical is also used to make yoga mats.
The campaigning by Harry to remove harmful ingredients from specific U.S. packaged food has proven successful on multiple occasions, but there is still a lot of work to be done in the United States.
And the World Health Organization has deemed it an asthmatic trigger. It causes lung issues in workers who handle it, skin irritation, eye irritation. So this is a very dangerous chemical that's being used in our bread.
The reason why the UK may fare better in this area is due to the fact that food regulations regarding artificial colorings and ingredients are generally much stricter. For example, in Europe alone, food companies must include warning labels if they use artificial dyes. This results in many opting not to use them, as it may deter potential customers. This and other deterrents forces companies to manufacture products in a more health-conscious way, meaning the United Kingdom is the winner when it comes to the quality of ingredients in their foods. Winner, you...
I just don't understand, like, if you can produce the same product, exactly the same, and not use an unhealthy ingredient, why not do that? Like, especially if it's not going to cost you much more to sell that product. Like, I just don't know why you would keep using the stuff that makes kids unattentive and affects their brains.
Kingdom. Round 2. Portion sizes. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
it's
You
no
definitely
secret that the
beat us
United
there,
States is known for
sure.
overfilling meals in what has become known as supersized portions.
Look at that. Look at how big that thing is.
Wow.
But is that the case
Oh, look at
across the board? Food Insider did a deep dive into several of the nation's shared fast food chains, dissecting just
That
how
is so
big
much
each
chicken.
of their standard sizes are. In every instance, the US had considerably larger portion sizes per meal, both in
Holy
volume and
smokes.
weight.
I can't even dump it. Yo. Look how much chicken this is.
Good lord.
Oh my god, what a mess.
This
Wow.
isn't just the case with fast food, as packaged foods are commonly sold in more significant gram amounts in the US.
Use Snickers. Better?
A standard Snickers bar, for example, is 52.7 grams in the United States and 48 grams in the UK. Sometimes there are even comically large editions available in the United
Jeez,
States.
look at the
This
size
is
of that.
1 pound, or roughly 453.6 grams.
That's
That
a lot,
isn't
man.
entirely a good thing,
grief.
as the United States ranks significantly higher than the United Kingdom in the percentage of obese adults living in the country.
While 1 in 8 Americans rely on food stamps, the stocks of Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and McDonald's are at all-time highs.
Some might remember the 2004 documentary Super Size
Size
Me, in
Me,
which director Morgan Spurlock lived exclusively on fast food, which spurred active discussions about the health risks of America's fast food.
Anybody would say right now that you're sick.
However, we don't measure for health, we measure for sizes. In almost every case, the United States destroys the UK's portion sizes.
Yeah.
Winner, United States.
For sure. I think this one was, the UK was never going to win in that regard. I remember we went to this Korean place when we first flew into New York, and the portions were massive. Like, I made the mistake of ordering 3 things because I was really hungry. Big mistake. Big mistake.
Round 3. Overall prices. Given that the UK and the US use 2 different currencies that can fluctuate in value, it can be hard to examine just how much difference there is in food price. However, if the earlier section of portion sizes is anything to go on, there is increased opportunity to be served more. But does that translate into how expensive the food actually is? According to MyLifeElsewhere.com, the United Kingdom's cost of living average when eating out was higher, some even on average as 25% more expensive than the US when eating at an inexpensive restaurant. But while it
Really?
might be more expensive
Nah, I don't believe that. I don't
to
believe
eat
it.
out, what about buying your groceries and eating from home? According to Numbeo.com, the cost of these individual items decreases exponentially if you're shopping in the UK. A 500-gram loaf of fresh bread would cost you $2.76 on average in the United States, but would only cost $1.31 when exchanged for pounds in the UK. Overall, consumer prices are 3% lower and grocery prices are a staggering 20% lower. However, restaurant prices are 5% higher than in the United States.
I
Given how
really
much
don't
these
believe
percentages lean in the UK's favor, the winner of this round is the United Kingdom. Winner, United Kingdom. Round 4, Variety. The United States.
Yeah, because, fast food in America, at least from my experience, but then again, we were in New York and California, was more, I would say it's more expensive, honestly, than in England.
Has one of the biggest economies in the world. It also has larger portion sizes, but doesn't have the most food chains and products available.
Oh,
This might be a
definitely.
bit unfair, as the United States is 40 times bigger than the United Kingdom. It makes complete
40.
sense then that most of the world's largest restaurant chains originated from the US. McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, Starbucks, Domino's, Pizza Hut, just to name a few.
So bring your appetite, bring everybody.
There are many chains from the United States that haven't made the crossover, however. The United Kingdom does have a few select brands originating in the nation, such as Wetherspoons and Greggs. However, the United States vastly outweighs its competition in large brand availability and origins.
God bless the USA.
This also extends to packaged food as well. There are many sweets and treats from the United States that would need to be exported to the United Kingdom rather than be made by a local factory. So, in the case of the variety of foods available to the average customer, the United States wins out. Winner, United States.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Round 5. Food safety standards. To clarify, when we say food safety standards, it doesn't just refer to the type of ingredient a food might contain, but also the enforced practices a country will partake in to prevent the spread of food-borne illnesses.
The principles of food safety aim to prevent food from becoming contaminated and causing food poisoning. With this in mind, ensuring that food is safe for human consumption is likely the most critical part of the food preparation process.
This means we will measure how sanitary food production is in the US and UK and look at the processes involved in creating the food for purchase. This includes the management and care for animals. The United States clearly has a larger population to cater for. It also has farther to travel to get their farm produce. And while the food safety practices have been ranked closely on an international stage, there are still areas for concern. The United Kingdom has had a few food-related scares. A notable case includes the 2013 horse meat scandal, where foods advertised as beef in the EU contained horse meat.
The horse meat controversy began last...
Man, I ate a lot of horse meat. There was this particular brand, I don't know if I should say the name because of lawsuits, but they made a lot of shepherd's pies, and I used to live on those at uni. And yeah, that company was like one of the biggest users of horse meat instead of beef. Yeah.
Horse DNA was found in burgers stocked by some supermarket chains, including Tesco, Iceland and Lidl. Today, the beef saga has spread, affecting firms in the UK, Irish Republic, Poland and France.
But this is an outlier in the UK food industry, as locally produced food follows a lot of stringent cleanliness and tracing laws. All cattle are registered at birth, individually verified, and have their movement monitored throughout their entire life. In addition, British beef requires their country of birth, rearing, and slaughtering to be listed on packages. American farmers, on the other hand, have no such obligations. Animal cruelty laws are also much more advanced in the UK than in non-EU countries. As a result, many profit-based practices have been outright banned, including battery cages, sow stalls, and male pig castration. Animal feed also has stricter rules in the UK. To reduce the risk of transmitting brain disease in chicken, meat and bone meal isn't allowed in poultry feed. In addition, some feeds that promote growth in pork and chicken aren't authorized to be used on British farms. If we're looking at crops, there is also a difference in pesticides used. Since 2016, the UK and EU have banned an insecticide called chlorpyrifos due to its link to brain damage in children.
Well, the Nazi state developed this set of chemicals to be nerve gases. Sarin gas is in this family.
Man, don't tell me that people still use that in the States. Come on, man. Hopefully not.
But after the war, they realized, well, this will attack anything with the nervous system, so it's very effective in treating crops and killing insects. But if it drifts, of course, it poisons people. It has the same kind of effect.
It is legal to use in the US, however. The same goes for neonicotinoids, which were banned in Europe due to concerns over their harm to bees.
Neonicotinoids are water-soluble and relatively mobile in the ground. So when it rains, they are easily washed into the groundwater and runoff water. This means they affect the whole environment and are also absorbed by wildflowers and plants via their roots. The entire landscape becomes toxic for insects.
As recently as 2020, the UK banned fungicide chlorothalonil due to concerns about its effect on water quality and the environment. But perhaps the most frequently discussed difference is the use of chlorine to wash chicken.
I've heard of this one, and apparently, is it true that in America, like they use hormones in chicken or something like that? Yeah, I heard something about that.
The process is used to decontaminate the meat and kill any bacteria left on the skin before it's sent off for packaging.
But really, it's a different standard in the United States. And it's not just chicken.
While this is a common practice in the United States, a trade group called the Soil Association argues that chlorine washing simply gives the impression contaminants have been killed. The United Kingdom, by comparison, doesn't allow this practice. They instead rely on rules that are designed to keep the meat as clean as possible through processing. It would certainly appear the United Kingdom is further ahead when it comes to the safety of its practices in creating food. Winner, United Kingdom. United States 2, United Kingdom 3. Overall, the United Kingdom beats out the US with a narrow 3-2 victory.
Close.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo.
Super interesting. I would hope that, you know, if at some point the use of chlorine to wash chickens and, you know, the pesticides that are used, the ones that can affect like the brain and stuff like that, are going to be banned in America. Because, I mean, if Europe can produce the food at a comparable price without using these two things that we know aren't good for us, why not just do that? Because it's not like it's going to drive up the price of producing the stuff hugely, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, but the thing is, you just can't count on companies to do the right thing on their own volition. Usually you got to force them into it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.